Honestly, I didn't think this day would come. We're doing the magic video. I think I figured it out. I figured out how to make this video, and this is huge because 4 or 5 years ago, this video is the reason why I stopped uploading on my YouTube channel. And this video is also the reason I stopped uploading 5 months ago and went on a hiatus. But then I came back, I did the leagues, and I thought, hey, I can't just give up. You know, we've come too far. We need to push forward with the magic regression. And what I thought of is I'm only going to show you guys 3 sets. Plenty other sets exist, plenty of magic items exist in this game. We're only going to cover the 3 sets which I think are probably the most reasonable to get on an Ironman. And another disclaimer, we're not going to talk about Blue Moon, we're not going to talk about Moons of Peril because I have plans to do a future video one day once I get the full set on my iron. Entirely for the 3 armors that comes out of Moons of Peril. We're also not going to talk about Virtus, and we're not going to talk about raids. So we're going to talk about set number 1, which is what I'm wearing right now, set number 2, which you're going to see later, and set number 3, which is kind of like my current, you know, end game gear. Let's keep the guide very simple and straight to the point. This set right here is what I think is quite possibly the best starter Ironman magic set. Everything here can be acquired basically on day 1, maybe with the exception of Tome of Fire and Mithril Gloves. And Tome of Fire is really not that important for this specific set. I only have it here because I know a lot of Ironmen like doing Wintertod first. I don't know how it is after the updates, but a lot of Ironmen actually do get Tome of Fire pretty early on if they're doing Wintertod before they do any combat. But again, I don't know how the updates have changed it because now higher levels can do Wintertod as easily as lower levels. Right here, we have a blue hat. So this blue hat is actually a gnome hat. It's buyable for a few GP. You can get it from Tree Gnome Stronghold. Literally, you can run there and pick it up. It's actually better than a black and blue wizard hat that you would get off regular wizards. Now, before, I would say, you know, your best chest slot is going to be a blue wizard rope top, and you would have to kill blue wizards for it. But with the addition of Varlamore, on the 3rd floor of the pub, this actually spawns there, so you don't even have to kill anything, you don't have to buy anything. Just do the Varlamore quest, go to the pub on the 3rd floor, and pick it up off the ground. And it is the best magic, you know, offensive bonus for your chess piece at this level. 1 magic, 1 defense. Zamorak Monk bottom, you do have to kill the Zamorak monks where the Wine of Zamorak is, north of the Goblin Village, and it's 1 out of 20 to get this. But this is the highest magic offensive bonus that is provided to you at 1 defense, 1 magic. And we're not talking about any Elder Robes or anything like that because that's not viable for you at this level. I have climbing boots because there really isn't any magic boots that you can wear at this level that is, unless you spoon a wizard, you know, boot from medium clues, but there's really nothing that you can put on your boots at this point in time. We have Mithril Gloves here because Mithril Gloves are possible from Recipe for Disaster with 1 defense, but any Recipe for Disaster glove is going to be basically your best in slot. If you don't have the Mithril Gloves or any, you know, Recipe for Disaster gloves, Karamja Gloves are also fine because they provide an offensive bonus. We have an Explorer's Ring, ignore the 4, it could be an Explorer's Ring 1. We have that there because it provides a prayer bonus, not necessarily a magic bonus. So ring is also not that important at this level. We have Ardy Cloak 4, so let's pretend this is an Ardy Cloak 1, which you can get on day 1 of your iron. It's a little bit of a grind, but it's definitely possible. That will provide you one of the best magic bonus and prayer bonus early iron as possible. So Amulet of Magic, very easily craftable. If you don't have the crafting level to craft it, you can get it from Easy Clues. If you don't have the Easy Clues, you can do the ham storage chests, and you can very easily get a Sapphire Amulet, which you can then enchant. I know at that point you'll have to be, you know, higher level magic, but it's not really that hard to get magic up. And last but not least, we have a blessing. You can be a current blessing for a teleport. It can be a clue scroll blessing for the prayer. Really nothing else you can put in there at this point in time. I have a Tome of Fire here because a lot of Ironmen actually get a Tome of Fire when they do Wintertod first, but I know the newest updates allows people to skip Wintertod now in the beginning. But if you didn't skip Wintertod in the beginning and you got a Tome of Fire, that is your best in slot for a long time. If not, really not that important to have. You can be offhand, you can have no offhand, and just a regular Staff of Air or a Staff of Fire to cast, spells. And this right here is likely your best getup when you're 1 magic, 1 defense very early on, and you will have this set until you can update to Zerikin robes. But until then, this is what you're going to look like. After Zerikin robes, you can substitute the hat, the robe top, and the robe bottom for Zerikin robes, but you'll still keep everything else the same. And this is how you'll look like with Salad robes. Alright, now we're starting to look a little bit like a Chad, and this is actually a pretty iconic Iron Man look right over here. A little more higher level than the last one, because this one I'm upgrading my magic amulet to a glory, which means that I would expect you to have that crafting level. We also have Barrow's gloves, which is going to be your best in slot magic hands until you can get, Zenites and a much higher crafting level. And now we have a beacon ring. So we did a little bit of questing since the last set, and we are also on a Slayer helmet imbued, which is huge because it provides you bonus magic damage. We also upgraded to an Iban staff, and you're going to hold on to this Iban staff until you have about 83 magic, where you can now either upgrade to a warped scepter, or you can just completely skip the warped scepter and go get a trident. So let's talk about a couple of other things that I'm wearing. When you get 63 magic, by that point you should be able to get the God Capes from the Wilderness Magic Arena. But with 63 magic, you can actually buy a Wizard Mind Bomb from either Falador or Bertho Pub and boost your way into the Magic Guild, where you will have access to purchase a full Mystic Robe set. So out of the full set, we're wearing the Mystic Boots, Mystic Robe bottom, and the Mystic Robe top. Beacon Ring, like I just mentioned, is a quest item. It provides you +2 or +3 magic bonus. But I want to bring the attention to the Brutus Shield right over here, and not a lot of people know about this. So the Brutus Shield is a very not well-known shield. You get the Brutus shields from getting a Brutus mask from doing Taibuwana cleanup. I can't sit here and explain that entire process, so I would recommend you use the RuneScape wiki to figure out how to craft it. But the Brutus shield and all 3 of the Brutus shields have the same stats, with a little bit of effects with that charges that they have here, and the charges are not that important. They provide you +3 magic, and they provide you +5 prayer. And that's great, because a Horror from the Deep book is already +5 prayer. So if you're in this scenario, in this armor set, and you don't have a completed God book, specifically either, the Book of Zamorak or the Book of Darkness for the +10 or +8 magic, and you don't have a Tome of Fire, I really think the Brutus Shield is going to be one of your best options because of the prayer bonus, because of the magic bonus, and it provides a little bit of defense bonus as well. This is hands down one of the biggest underdog shields that a lot of people don't know about. And you're going to be in this set for most of your mid game until you're able to do Barrows and actually get some Arims. Going back to the Slayer helmet, you can substitute this for a Farseer helmet. I don't recommend it because you shouldn't be maging off task anyways, especially if you've done Desert Treasure and you have an Ancient Staff and you're able to do like some Ice Bursts. When you get a higher level Slayer, you're going to unlock some better burstable tasks like Dust Devils or Necryles. I know Necryles is a little higher level Slayer requirement, but specifically Dust Devils, you're going to always want to mage that with Ice Burst because you're going to get some crazy magic XP, especially if you're wearing a Slayer helmet, and you kind of have to wear a Slayer helmet for Dust Devils. You're going to get over like 300,000 XP an hour just in magic, just by doing a Dust Devils task, and you're going to learn to love that task because it's going to skyrocket your magic level. Plus all the alching you're going to do, you're not going to have any trouble with magic, I promise you. Now we're at the point where I am in my Ironman career. This set over here is what I currently rock in the main game. As you see, we have Arims now. This is the direct upgrade to Mystics. You can substitute this for Blue Moon, and after Arims will come Virtus or Ancestral, depending on how you're raiding, but we're not talking about those in this video, and this is what I currently take to raids. As you see from the last set, we grinded out some crafting levels. Now we upgraded our Barrow's Gloves to a Tormented Bracelet. We also got Eternal Boots, which require Cerberus, and you can actually get Infinity Boots in the prior set. So if you want to grind out Infinity Boots, you can do that in the prior set. Not too important. Mystic Boots are totally fine for the set prior to this, but you will need to grind out Infinity Boots if you get the Eternal Gem, and you will be able to get Eternal Boots, which is the best in slot currently. After the Magic Arena 1 Wilderness Cape, you get the Magic Arena 2 Wilderness Cape, which is the imbued version. Best in slot currently, provides magic bonus damage. I have the Deadman ornament on there, and it looks kind of sick. Now here's the book. I have better books than the Book of the Dead. Why is this my offhand? When I'm doing raids, and this applies to all the raids, I'm generally using Trident of the Swamp or a Toxic Trident, which is my best in slot currently. It's a powered staff, so I don't need to be on a certain spell book to cast spells, right? So I like to cast Thralls. If I'm casting Thralls in the raid, I'm not going to bring in another book, especially if I don't have a book that provides magic bonus damage. I rock Book of the Dead on my offhand at this level because it's my book that is offhand that provides magic bonus, and it provides a little bit of prayer bonus, and it lets me cast Thralls. Ring is empty, and ammo slot is empty at this point as well, because if I'm doing raids, I'm bringing Tribrid gear, so I might have arrows here, I might have a Berserker ring here, but so many rings exist in this setup depending on what you want to do. You have the Seer's ring, you have the Duke Magus ring, you have the Ring of Suffering, you have the Brimstone ring, you have the Ring of the Gods that provides you +8 prayer and more prayer per dose, right? There's so many different rings that you can put in there. I'm leaving it open. That's going to be for you to decide. And at this point in your Ironman career, you should be able to decide what goes in your ring slot. I don't take anything that's magic related unless I had the Magus ring. I don't have the Magus ring yet, but if I had the Magus ring, I would probably put that in here as a raid item because it does provide bonus damage. But again, I don't have it to make that determination. I'll make that determination when I do get it, and I feel like if I can do the switches, I'll keep it. If not, I'm keeping it empty, and I'm only keeping one ring here for everything else. Now, we also have the Occult Necklace. Occult Necklace is the best in slot necklace for magic. It provides bonus damage of 5%, and we're still rocking the Slayer helmet. But again, if you're doing raids, you can keep the Slayer helmet imbued because this is a great Tribrid helmet. It provides you bonus accuracy in both mage and range, and provides defense stats, and is good for actually using melee. It just doesn't provide you that strength bonus that you might want with other sets. But I would keep the Slayer helmet imbued. It is great. It's a great helmet when you're starting to learn raids because you can Tribrid in this helmet. If you have the Arachnia boots from Araxites, you can actually use that because that's also a Tribrid boot, but Eternal Boots are the best in the slot. This is what I'm currently rocking. Depending on what you do, you might be using, an Ancient Staff, or an Ancient Scepter, or an Ice Ancient Scepter, or a Blood Ancient Scepter, or, you might be doing Scurious and we'll be using the Bone Staff, or so many options exist. Trident of the Swamp is all reliable and is used basically everywhere that you are doing content until you can get raid staff. So this was it. I really hope I touched everything. There's a lot to magic that I didn't cover. I know, like a lot of blood bark and a lot of different niche builds, but I think these 3 sets are the 3 sets that you will see 90% of the time in your Ironman career. These are the upgrades that you should strive to get, and yeah, I really hope that this video helped you out, and if it did, leave a comment below. So here I am for the first time in my YouTube career saying, please like and subscribe, and please leave a comment of what you would like me to do next, because I had the vision for the Ironman series and we're running out of content. But don't worry, I have a lot of new series in mind that is probably going to be something you want to watch, because I really based my entire RuneScape personality through it. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.